All right, doing just a quick garden update today. If you watched the other video on planting sweet potatoes, these are the beds that I just finished for the sweet potatoes. We did put in these 2 new beds and this little garden arbor. The plan is to have some loofah gourds run over this arbor this summer. The potatoes are all doing really well. Onions are kind of taking over with this hairy vetch, and we don't have much of an onion harvest this year. We've got more potatoes. We have tons of potatoes in through here. The majority of my spring garden was devoted to potatoes. Even in these pots in the middle, I've got potatoes in most of them. That's some broccoli, but it doesn't look like it's doing much of making head, so it may end up getting pulled out before it does anything, since it's fixing to warm up. Some little box beds here in the center, but I've got some peppers, some broccoli, cilantro that's going to seed, strawberries, just a mixed mash of stuff. These were Egyptian walking onions that I failed to separate, so I need to do something with that bucket. Little kale, little leftover lettuce that's about to bolt. A few spring onions. Like I said, these little boxes just had a variety of stuff in them. Got one Chinese cabbage here, and more potatoes. We've got our Egyptian walking onions and more potatoes. Both these beds down here are full of potatoes. You see we've got some hairy vetch in there as well that's going to seed. I have not gotten around to peeling these potatoes or mulching these potatoes, so it may not happen this year. We'll see how they make anyway. Carrots. Garlic is starting to bloom. Typically we harvest garlic in probably early to mid-June here. It'll start kind of dying back a little bit, and that's when it's ready to harvest. I've got some cucumbers coming on here with little trellises for those to run up. Some more lettuce that hasn't fully bolted yet. We've got spinach that's going to seed, cilantro that's going to seed. I like to let my cilantro go to seed because then it just continues to come back throughout the year, and I always have little sprouts of cilantro coming up everywhere that you use. I'll probably collect some of these seeds off of the spinach. A little bit more lettuce. I pulled out quite a bit of this lettuce that bolted and gave it to the rabbits. Got peppers, and this is where I have mulched them down with sheep's wool. I have peppers and tomatoes. So these tomatoes all are about at the point where I need to get them staked up. Probably just going to put in some wooden posts and stake those to them. We've got peppers over here. Some of them have gotten a little bit trampled because I have Negan in here. So some of them are okay. A lot of them are trampled. He does pretty good. But I did notice that we have a little banana pepper on this one already. Very nice. The other part of the garden is back here, and I wanted to show you an update on the corn. Unfortunately, I've had really spotty germination with that, so I was pretty disappointed, honestly. Last year I planted a hybrid sweet corn from Gurney's, and I don't know what variety it was, but it did really well, and this stuff just is really spotty, so we'll get down there to it. These are tomatoes that I'm about to get staked up to this center trellis. are doing really well. We've got peppers along the side that will actually do better once I get the tomatoes staked up off of them. But all the way down, I've got peppers and tomatoes. These are tomatillos here. They are loaded down, and I do need to get them staked up as well. Probably some wooden stakes out here. But yeah, pretty happy with the way these are coming on. They're loaded down with tomatoes. I do see some bugs out here, so I'm going to come out here with some neem oil spray and spray these down. More peppers. Some of the tomatoes are looking like they might be getting hit with some disease. It happens. Fungal disease will hit them sometimes. These are another type of tomatillo or ground cherry. I'm not certain what these plants are. I thought I planted all tomatillos, but these look very different than the other tomatillo plants.
Travis, where do you want your dirt?
The spot where you can see that there should be a bucket under those metal trellises.
In between?
Now I've got tomatoes all the way around my fence like I did last year. I did have some along this back fence, but the sheep love tomato plants, even though they're supposedly toxic. I don't believe they are, because my animals love them and will eat them up, and it doesn't seem to harm them. So I've got these little sunflowers coming up, and this is the corn. Very, very spotty germination up here on the luscious. A little bit better down here at the bottom on the incredible, but I sowed all these seeds pretty thick, and it just hasn't come up well. You see long stretches here with no corn at all. I need to come in through here and do a little hoeing with a lot of this grass, but yeah, I mean, just very disappointing on the germination rate of these seeds. A little stretch there where they did really well. They're all barking at Allie, who's running down the fence with Ray right here, causing problems. She's in the field. All right, so again, sunflower seeds down here on the end, or sunflowers, 4 sunflower seeds down here on the end, and then we've got some more tomatoes. Now, like I said, I had tomatoes all the way down this little piece of the fence, but these guys over here like tomatoes or tomato plants, so they ate them all. So we're down to nubs. They haven't been able to get to this one like this. So, I mean, we'll have some corn, but it's going to be a lot less than what it should be. That happens from time to time with gardening. You'll have a really successful year of something, and then next thing you know, a very disappointing year on certain vegetables, and that's just how it goes. Make sure you put up and save or preserve as much as you can when you've got a nice abundant harvest, because you're not guaranteed a nice abundant harvest of the same thing the next year. Last year a lot of our tomatoes actually got diseased. One of the things that can open up your tomato plants for disease is watering them from above. So I'm trying to water them strictly from below, but some of these areas have gotten sprayed from the top with the way the sprinkler system puts out the water. So some of these, like this plant here, these look a little rough. They may not do much. I did pull one out of this spot here this morning because it looked like it was diseased. So I've got actually 2 fairly large tomato plants in pots that I'll probably put one there to take its place. But that's the little back garden area. I'm happy with the raised beds. Not so happy with my corn germination, but so be it. Now up here in the little garden right behind the house, I have a bunch of volunteer winter squash that are taking over this area. I have some cabbages that are pretty much ready to harvest. So I actually need to get out here today and take out about 3 of these that are ready. I've got some parsnips in there, some potatoes in there, but again, the squash has pretty much taken over. We've got strawberries in the raised boxes. And I had planted some marigolds and sunflowers around in the flower beds. The marigolds have very spotty germination. So, and around here in the front, I've got my strawberry patch. And right back here, I planted some eggplants that I've had, again, kind of spotty germination with a lot of the stuff that I planted this early spring. So I may have to come back and put in some more seeds. Strawberries need to be picked today. And here in the front, I have these little planter boxes with herbs in them. One on each side. These are my 2 tomato plants that I need to get in the ground. And I have peppers out here, like I did last year. This was a super spot for peppers. Got us a nice weed growing in here. There's a pepper as well. These look like they could use a little neem oil as well. Looks like they're getting eaten by some insects. And all of these little spots where I've moved the soil out of the way, I had planted cucumbers. Again, a lot of my seeds that I was using, I did not store in the freezer like I should have. So I think we just had some old seeds. I have gotten some new cucumber seeds. I'm going to go down through here and get some of these replanted, because it doesn't look like I'm having any success with a lot of this stuff. These are zucchinis, but it looks like as soon as they're coming up, they're being eaten by pests. Probably a lot of insects in this pine straw. A few Egyptian walking onions. And around to the herb bed. Chives, mint, some basil, Egyptian walking onions, some more basil, oregano, some cilantro. I've got a little bit of marjoram coming up in there. The sage is all going to seed. This was planted last year, lived through the winter, and now it's gone to seed this year. So it should reseed itself and come back as new plants. And here on the patio, we've got our, this is a key lime that we just planted this year. Got an olive tree. Has a couple little olives right here. And this is an olive tree from last year that made it through the winter. That's just now kind of sprouting back up from the roots. Got a Persian lime tree here. one of the branches had broken off. So I just threw it over there. Another olive tree from last year. These died way back, even though I had them out of the weather over the winter. I'll probably need to bring them indoors this coming winter. And we've got our mandarin tree. I do need to prune these shoots that are going straight up. But we have mandarins coming along nicely on this tree. Got our kiwi plant. Oh, it looks like it needs some water. It's looking a little droopy. I haven't watered it in a few days. And 2 more kiwi plants. And this trellis, that's the male plant over there that's kind of droopy. It just needs some water. And I've got 2 more female kiwis. In these pots. We've got our Mare lemon tree. And it's got just a couple of little lemons. Most of the blooms dropped off because we got almost to a frost one night while it was up here on this patio. So that's pretty much it on the garden update. We'll keep you posted over the next few weeks, months, and show you what we start harvesting in the very near future.